What's up, everybody? It's Russell again. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, then you will find a whole bunch of stock alert services reviewed on this channel, where I've tried most of the services out and explored them and tried to let you know whether they're good or bad. I tend to ignore the ones that are really bad and just focus on giving you the rundown on the good ones. There's not a whole lot of point in going through all the bad services out there, because basically there's so many, and I just try and pick the creme de la creme of the stock alert services. So today it is Stefanie Kammerman, also known as the Stock Whisperer. So Stephanie's an interesting character. She's one of only a few females that are in this industry. I just did a video that you should check out on Kiana Daniel. She is one of the females that I talk about a little bit that came across. Humble Trader is also another female stock trader and educator, and I'm going to do some videos on her soon as well. Anyway, back to Stefanie Kammerman. So, Stephanie seems to have like a good background. So you can see like here, she basically started in '94. So she's not a young spring chicken here. She's been at this for a while. So she seemed to start with this firm, and she ended up working on the dark pool computer thing that seemed to be back then. I don't know too much about it, but basically these big firms have access to this dark pool data, which most people didn't have at the time. They do now, but back then it was just reserved for these big trading firms. So she was a superb trader, where she, first female rookie trader of the year at a major Wall Street firm. And these days she's running a dark pool trading chat room called the Java Pit. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But what I did like last year is I actually bought her book called Dark Pool Secrets. So it's an awesome book. You can find it on Amazon, but it's priced like $90 or something on Amazon. So you can actually get it free, just pay shipping, like these deals that these people do. I think shipping was ridiculous, like $20 or something, but it's better than paying $100 on Amazon for the book. It's well worth the read. I really enjoyed this book. She discusses all the secrets of the stock market and what really goes on behind the Wall Street curtain, where you basically have all these big institutions selling and buying shares from each other kind of secretly. So, dark pools are something that have been around for a long, long time. They're basically a way for these big Wall Street firms to trade massive amounts of shares without affecting the stock price so much. So they don't do it on the normal open exchanges, they do it on these secret dark pool exchanges, from what I can tell. So they do that without scaring retail traders. And if you know where these people are buying huge amounts, like $100 million worth of shares, then you can kind of understand like that these smart money people might actually have some an edge, like maybe they have even insider information. If not insider information, at least they're smart enough to have done all their due diligence to know that buying $100 million worth of something at a certain price is most likely going to pay off, because that kind of bet is huge. So yeah, go and check out Dark Pool Secrets. It's got so much awesome information. She does talk a little bit about quite a lot actually, about her premium service called the Java Pit. And she gives a whole bunch of examples throughout the whole book, showing basically real trades that she did in her chat room with her students. As demonstration purposes, I guess, for where she saw like these big dark pool prints, and then where she decided to buy and alert that particular option or stock. And it's just a really good read. So all the real examples. One of the things that came across was like really interesting to me is she claims that back in 2001, just before the Twin Towers terrorist attack, a few days before, she started to notice these massive dark pool prints that were betting against airlines. And if that's true, and I've heard that other places too, then that is pretty scary, right? I mean, the fact that somebody somewhere knew enough to bet massively against airlines right before one of the worst airline-related terrorist attacks ever seen. So just stuff like that. The book's full of really interesting stuff, and it's only $20, so it's not like you're being conned out of $1,000 or anything. It's definitely a book that you want to read, in my opinion. I found it really informative. So On YouTube, she has a whole bunch of stuff where she gives a lot of the dark pool information for free. That's always worth checking out. You can just search her on YouTube. One thing that I found when I was writing this article was that the top search term is Stefanie Kammerman married? So it seems like it's a lot of like male traders trying to figure out if she's married or not. And apparently, she's about 50, I think, now, because this was written last year. Um, she has the nickname Volume Princess because obviously the Dark Pool prints. Um, it's basically her whole strategy is looking at these prints on the Dark Pool. And she does that a few different ways. So in the book, I learned essentially that you can use these brokers to access dark pool data. I've never really traded on dark pool data. Unusual options activity I've used, but not actual real like dark pool, which is a little different. So if you want to check this out, then you could do Lightspeed or Charles Schwab's as more block trade data. It's a bit more expensive than Lightspeed, but you can start to get an insight into the dark pool data feed, which the Stefanie uses. Yeah, so she basically, in her book, like one of the things I didn't realize is that 40% of all the trading volume happens on private stock exchanges, not actually on the open market. 40%, that's a lot, so it's quite impressive. This our book's just full of really like interesting nuggets like that. So um, it's worth pointing out I actually haven't like joined her premium service called the Java Pit. Her strategy is pretty complex on the surface. But really, all she's doing is looking for areas where big money's buying. So, like, Uber support is what I guess I'd call it, where, like, if it's found support or level, but it's found support because people are buying tens or hundred millions of dollars worth of stock, then you've got more confidence in that area of support or resistance. So, she claims that the smart money knows that there's some kind of catalyst coming, and that's why they're doing this. Maybe that's true sometimes. I guess with a lot of these things, though, similar to unusual options activity, not always, like, this is not a surefire approach, right? Huge orders and unusual activity on the dart pools doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a 100% winner, right? It could be hedging, could be a number of things. So she has a very high success rate, like a 90% win rate, but it doesn't always work out. So it's not like the magic bullet that everybody's looking for. She is a swing trader, partly because when these people buy these $100 million worth of stock, you don't know whether the catalyst or whether the thesis is to hold for a day or 10 days or 100 days. You just have no idea. So generally, you have to swing trade. So yeah, so you can join her free email list as well, and she does give out free stock picks and things. So that's pretty fun to do. Some of her stuff works out quite well. I haven't joined the Stock Whisperer or Java Pit Room chat room yet. Um, I was a little bit put off. Her book does introduce a lot of the stuff that goes on in there, and there is a ton of like value they provide. So let me show you the sales page and stuff. So that's maybe not the best one. Let's see. Dark Pool Secrets. Yeah, this is where you can get the book, Dark Pool Secrets. You can get the book here. It's on Amazon for something like this, maybe a bit more. So she's really using this as a lead magnet now, so you can get it for free plus paying for the shipping, the usual kind of tricks. So the Dark Pool Secrets stuff, let me see. So here's what you can expect. So it's basically a chat room. You can interact with her. She gives out buy alerts, sell alerts. There's some like the usual sort of stuff you'd expect from these types of chat rooms. The difference here is I don't know how much it costs. So normally in the sales pages they'll give you some sort of buy now $100 a month or whatever, but on hers it's like you have to be screened apparently. So not everybody gets in. So you have to fill out this questionnaire and apply. And I don't know, like seems a little odd. I feel like they're trying to use like make you feel special that you have to apply and you know so kind of scarcity type tactics. I don't know how much it costs, like I said, so maybe it's not that expensive and they really are fussy about who gets in. But yeah, so that is basically a brief overview of Stefanie Kammerman. She seems to be legit. You can follow her on Twitter as well. I think following all these types of gurus on the social media stuff before buying is usually a good thing. You can get a lot of stuff for free. You can see if you like the style and things. Oh, it looks like access to the JavaPit chat room is $70 a month. I wrote this article last year, by the way, when I read the book, so I've probably forgotten a few things like this. Not sure if it's still that though, because I don't know where I must have found that somewhere, and it looks like that price has disappeared from our websites and that you have to apply kind of thing now. So maybe that is an old price. So if that's true though, it's actually a pretty good deal. Um, so somewhere I found some of these results. So you can see the 3% profits on 91% of Stephanie's trades. Um, that's pretty good. I mean, I take that all day. Unless in the last 9% she loses like 100% um, plus, so that it just negates it. But I don't have any reason from what I've watched on YouTube and read the book and things to say that she's not a legit trader. So yeah, so she just basically uses dark pool stuff. She's been around, and so is dark pool trading for a long time now. It's definitely a valid strategy, although you do get a lot of haters, like you do in every strategy, that say it's not really a real thing and stuff. But it clearly is, a real strategy that people use. So I think that's all I've got to say about the Cameraman. Um, Definitely go and check out the stockwhisperer.com and check out the JavaPit stuff. I think she's definitely worth adding to your kind of your watch list of people to follow. I think there's definitely value in her. So what I like to do with a lot of these services is basically I'm a member of so many of them. But if you start to see like everything aligning, so imagine like you're in Stephanie's chat room and she sees dark pool activity on NIO, for example, NIO. And then a few of the other chat rooms are also looking at it for different reasons and saying, hey, this is looking like it's going to be bullish. And then you look at the chart yourself and you look at it and it fits your criteria. And then maybe you start to see it on cheddar flow coming up as unusual options activity. So there's like all these different factors. You can get some really high probability trades by doing that, using all these different services and your own tools and knowledge and experience to bring it all together and get like this really high probability trade going on. So I've done that a lot, especially with like Humble Trader. So she'll come up with ideas pre-market and you can kind of start researching them yourself. And then other services, like when I was a member of Jason Bonds, he would also start looking at the same stuff or similar trades. And you can just like get all this information and basically make some of the best trades that you can really imagine. So that's just a little tip on something that I do with all these services. I know there's a lot of haters out there that think I'm somehow just like some paid shill for all these services and that I'm just giving them all positive reviews. But it's really not true. 99% of these services I've received absolutely no compensation for. And I'd love to be paid by them, but I don't even, ask for it. I really just want to, show you the ones that I feel like are really good or the ones that I'm a member of and think that they'd add some value to your trading. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up there. And thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. All right, cheers.